So after a couple of years away, Adrian Lewis, a four-time PDC Major champion, made his return to the sport of darts. The winner of the European Championship, the winner of the UK Open, and of course the big two, the back-to-back World Championships 2011 and 2012. Made his return last night at International Pairs Week on the Modus Super Series and is going to be doing a little bit more competitive darts, certainly depending how this goes. And it wasn't a bad outing for Adrian Lewis, but we're just going to have a little look to see what is there still for jackpot. Now, the first thing that was very notable for me was little changes within the throw and also changes within the equipment. Take a look here. This is the standard sort of Adrian Lewis traditional shape dart, and the big change you'll notice is here around the nose. You'll see it's just a straight down and then just dips slightly on the nose into the point. Last night, the darts of which he was using, you can see actually significantly different. Yes, we've still got that sort of straight barrel, but tapering the last sort of 20% of the dart in towards the nose. Now, what that will do is that will traditionally help with grouping. You see here a tapered nose is what I mean. It's thick here and it gets thinner and tapers in towards the point. Now, this is meant to be for better grouping. Now, he may be doing this due to the fact he's changed the flight and the stem system. This is a folded system, the very traditional flight and stem, which it comes in a folded, you pull it out, you put it in. Adrian Lewis is now using a moulded system, an all-in-one rigid system where the flight and the stem is built together. This actually can help promote deflections, so maybe using this to change that. But one thing that will happen is when you start tapering here and taking away material, it's going to change where the balance point is on the dart, which will change either how the dart flies through the air or how you need to grip it. And I think we saw this a little bit last night with Adrian Lewis. Adrian Lewis has been known for having one of the most free-flowing, nice, easy on the eye actions, certainly when it's in full motion. And last night it felt a little bit more like Adrian Lewis was driving through the action to the board rather than having that sort of free floaty, free flowing action. It just took the edge off the curve, and we could see that sometimes in how the darts was landing. But the first point really to look at here is the 18. You can see the first two gone in nice and straight. The 18's just kicked across to the side, which means the angle of the dart, the release, is not on point. And again, that's just sort of a relation between the arc of the dart, the balance point, the release, and then the flick of the wrist and how that's gone. Has it rotated? Has it turned? You'll see here that because it's no longer doing this, this is what we want. We want it so you see the flight. The dart comes straight back at you. That means we've had a nice straight thrown dart. So you see the flight. In this situation, it's kicked like so. So the dart's gone to the side. So you can actually start to see the barrel and the stem. You want to see the flight. You want it to come straight down that line. So because of that and because of that's kicked, shows maybe a little bit of an issue there at the moment with Adrian Lewis. Early indications not great on that one. You can also see from this great side angle as well that the dart's not landing in a consistent angle of entry. Look at the 1, for example, there. Much more upright than, say, the 5. So a very, very different angle of entry, which just suggests at the moment he hasn't quite got the weight of tungsten in this game situation. Now, he's been out for a few years. This may come, and I expect it will. The more he plays, the more we see him, I expect to see that change, the more he gets used to this equipment. Because this is quite a drastic change. It's quite a significant change, should we say, in regards to that. So, interesting there and something to keep an eye on. But how did he perform is the big thing. So the night started pretty good. It was a great game against Sweden. Nice performance as well. 91-29 the average, 4-3 victory. Steve Beaton played well in this game as well, so it was a good sort of pars performance. 91 average for a pair partnership is very, very good. 3 180s between the pair. Some nice checkouts as well. Adrian Lewis looking good. But it wasn't clear sailing all night, though. They did get a victory against the USA team, Jason Brandon and Alex Spellman, despite only averaging 80 in that game. That was pretty much won on the doubles, but that was the only wins they had. They did lose to the Canadian pairing of Dawson Michelle and Jeff Smith. Again, that one going the distance, this time not able to win that last leg shootout, averaging just 81. And then the last game of the evening, losing to the Irish pair, again going the distance. Adrian Lewis was the man who took out the 1-3-5 finish, but 84 average for the pair. 180s again pretty good, but all the games going quite strong. They never really sort of asserted dominance. I mean, these are the favourites to win win this, and maybe rightly so. Adrian Lewis, despite being out for a little bit, a couple of times world champion, but also, I remember Steve Beaton handed back his tour card, he didn't lose it. So this is a very, very strong England partnership. But let's just go back to focusing on the performance of Adrian Lewis, and we'll see what our pals FDI Index have got to say. So some absolute world-class data here from FDI as always. Go give them a follow. I'll link them in the description below. Highest finish on 135 as we already discussed. The 3-dart average a little low for me, 81.76. I expected a lot better from Adrian Lewis, and he has been playing better than that on his exhibitions. The other thing to remember here is this is pairs, so it will be a little harder to have the sort of momentum and the flow and the freedom of which Adrian Lewis normally plays. The slight concern for me, though, is the average dropping to 73.59 when he's got the lead. You know, when you got the lead, when you're in front, that's something you're not quite used to, and the performance has dropped in regards to that. The 180s per leg, I think, is pretty good for pairs. Nearly, well, 0.74 180s per leg. I think he's very, very good for pairs, especially when he's been out for so long. Doubles 30%, that's a little low. Normally say 33%. That means if you come to the board with a handful of darts, you're expected to take it out. On this occasion, Adrian Lewis not. So if he had 3 darts in his hand, the likelihood or the statistics say he needs another dart, which means he would need another visit as well. Some positives in there, 100% on the big numbers, not making any silly mistakes when moving around the board, which is good. But there is one thing here that significantly stands out for me. And if there's something that stands out for you, do shout up. Do let me know what you think that is. But it's got to be those trebleless visits. That's where I think he let himself down a little bit. 46% of his visits did not have a treble in it. So only 54% of the visits had a treble. Now, as I say, it's pairs. He's been out for a long time. He's got new equipment. He's changed some things within his throw. In fact, the whole dart setup is different. From the flight and the stem, which changes significantly the arc of the dart, to the balance, which will change the grip. There's so much different going on here for Adrian Lewis. So this is Adrian Lewis 2.0. This is an Adrian Lewis continuation. This is a complete new version of Adrian Lewis. And although there were some promising signs on the opening night, we've not yet seen that guy who's the 2-time world champion and a 4-time major winner. Someone who'll be challenging sort of the top end. Now, if we look at some of his exhibitions, he's been 90 plus in a lot of those. So maybe just needed the day, maybe not as great on the pairs format. So it will be one I'll keep an eye on for sure, because I'm a big fan of Adrian Lewis. He's a legend of the sport. So we will keep track of all his sort of progress and see how he gets on right here on Edgar TV. So if you do want to be up to date with all the latest information regarding Adrian Lewis and how he's getting on and sort of following that journey, see if he can get back to the professional ranks again, see if he's producing the stuff like his professional ranks again, all you've got to do is hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you soon for some more Edgar TV. The best thing though, Adrian Lewis is back.